our back-to-school edition of CT Style. Sports are a great way to keep your kids active and engaged during the school year, but can come with their fair share of injuries. Here with tips to keep kids safe on the court or on the field is Stephanie Barassa, Sports Medicine Clinical Program Director at Hartford HealthCare Rehabilitation Network. Stephanie, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So many things to discuss here. We want to keep our children safe, but let's start with the obvious. It is hot. Heat exhaustion is real. What should we look out for here?
Yeah, so there's different levels of heat injuries or heat illnesses that we want to be aware of, and our athletic trainers, physical therapists, sports medicine physicians on the sidelines will be keeping an eye on that. But we look for sweat. You know, if they stop sweating, it's actually a medical emergency. We look at cramping as a symptom. Actually, if you're thirsty, you're already past the point of being able to hydrate yourself. And then redness in the face, just that overall fatigue, slurred speech, those kinds of things are all medical emergencies.
And if you notice any of these symptoms, stop immediately what you're doing.
Yeah, our athletic trainers are out there right now getting prepared. We have to immediately immerse you in cold pools. So we'll have little kid pools by our sidelines, ice packs, etc. Those are really essential to try to get our core temperature down so that we don't have a culmination of some more injuries that occur.
And now this leads us to the next point I wanted to touch on, hydration.
Yeah.
I would imagine we want to be doing this all day long, not just when you hit the field or the court.
Yeah, if you're feeling thirsty, it's actually too late. So now is the kind of day where you should be having a water bottle with you all the time. Anything more than 60 minutes of exercise, you actually need to replace with some electrolytes as well. So this is where your sports drinks come into play. There's actually sweat patches out there too, and we actually encourage a lot of our football players to weigh themselves before and after practice, because that'll tell you how much weight loss that you've occurred by losing that fluid through your skin to help cool yourself.
Wow, important. You know, September, October can still be very hot, so important to know. And now you do say that pre-season conditioning is important. How do students keep up with this over the summer?
Yeah, so acclimatization is very important. So you need about 2 weeks in order to get used to the temperatures that you're going to be playing in. We see a lot of kids right now starting to feel cramps and those kinds of things because they're wearing pants. So we're playing multiple, double headers throughout the day. And so making sure that you're wearing cooler clothes, not practicing in the heat of the day, getting yourselves out there, making sure that you're hydrated, leading into preseason, which is starting in a couple weeks.
And now at your center, I'm sure you see a number of sports-related injuries. What are you most commonly seeing, and how do you treat it?
Yeah, the fall sports, it depends on the sport itself. We see a lot of overuse injuries, and we recognize that with a lot of kids that have not conditioned over the summer. We see a lot of other things like blisters, sprained ankles, those kinds of things that happen when kids are starting to get onto different surfaces than what they've trained on throughout the whole summer. So overuse is huge. Concussion is something that starts to come into play in the fall.
Yep.
I know we talk about equipment and the correct fitting for helmets and those kinds of things, but making sure somebody warms up, stretches, maintains some strength. There's lots of programs out there that we implement that help with injury prevention.
Now, if someone's child gets hurt, what's the first step a parent should do? How can they contact you and come in?
Yeah, so our athletic trainers are your entry point into any of our systems. So if a child gets hurt during an organized school event, the athletic trainer should be the first person that they go to. They can certainly check out mysportshealth.org. We have athletic trainers and physical therapists that triage those phone calls to help coordinate the care as quickly as possible.
All right, and one more time, that website, mysportshealth.org. Stephanie, thanks so much for the information.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and that does it for today's special edition of CT Style. If you'd like to learn more about anything you saw on the show today, head to ctstyle.tv. Wishing you and your family a great start to the school year ahead. We'll see you right back here next Friday at 12:45. Have a great weekend.